Good morning and welcome to this special program, the Mid-Morning Park on MBCI TV. I hope you are doing fine wherever you are. Welcome to this program all the way up to 12 midday. My name is Paul Kagi, and today we are going to talk about the elections process in Kenya. If you want to talk to us, I can give you our contact numbers. You can speak to us by SMSing 23814 if you have any question or maybe you have any comment. You can also talk to us via WhatsApp 0721-105-105, 0721-105-105. You can also check us on the FB, Facebook, MBCI TV. We are live on the YouTube, MBCI TV Official. Today, we are here to talk about the election process, a day when Kenyans are looking forward for various issues. Number one is a time that Kenyans are looking forward for the swearing in of the members of Parliament and in the Senate. A time when we are looking forward for the election of the Speaker's position in our county assemblies, Senate, and National Assembly. Is a day also we are looking forward for the outcome of the Supreme Court next Monday, and also we are looking forward for the forming of the new government. And is a time even when Kenyans are very anxious about what is going to happen tomorrow. Once again, my name is Paul Kagi, and today we have a guest, Dr. Peter Mbae, who is a leadership and governance expert, is here with us. We are going to put into perspective all the issues regarding the election process in Kenya. Once again, if you have a comment, if you want to ask a question, you can text via 23814. You can also use your WhatsApp phone. Our number is 0721-105-105. We are live on Facebook, MBCI TV, our YouTube, MBCI TV Official. Without much ado, I want to welcome Dr. Mbae to our studios. Karibu sana daktari.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm
fine. I'm well.
Yes.
We are believing God. It's been some season where we are all hoping and praying God that, look, God, you have been with us through up to now.
Yes.
And we are believing in God for the next phase of this nation, which hopefully by Monday we'll have a way forward about where do we go from there.
Yes.
I want to thank God first of all because we have been praying that God, we need peace. Men of God have prayed. There has been caravans of peace and all that in the whole nation. And we thank God because up to the 9th of August, there was relative peace.
Yes.
Well, it not for a few issues here and there was throwing. And then we prayed, God, let's have a peaceful voting day.
Yeah.
Now, 46,000 polling stations. People waking up in all of those, opening up and people voting the whole day. Now, that was not small thing. 14 million people.
If you look at the history of our country.
The history, and also in other nations, maybe in that day, you hear, there's some bit of disruptions, but we voted. Number 3, we asked God, let's all hold on for 7 days until the IBC makes a decision.
Yes.
Kenyans were very peaceful. I mean, there were no, everything. People stayed at home, watched for the 7 days. I want to fault maybe some leadership there failed us. Kenyans were very good so far. But on the 7th day, the day we are waiting for results, I mean, the leadership, not the voters, the leadership people, between the leadership at Bomas, others at Serena, others throwing chairs, that's where the leaders began failing the Kenyans.
Yes.
Because all along you told Kenyans vote, for specific campaigns, no strong throwing. They waited for 7 days. But on the last day when Kenyans were waiting to be given the verdict by the leaders, including the IBC and all the others, it's only people who are very senior in this country who found their way to Bomas. Very senior people who got the budgets to go there. Then whatever happened there, they are treating now Kenyans to a lot of drama.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you allow somebody to go at the VIP area, very secured place, and begin throwing chairs? Now, that's when leadership began sort of failing us. But we also thank God because we told them, wait a minute, Kenyans voted. It's up to you to know what to do with the votes. Because Kenyans voted. I mean, this issue is not about
their job.
This issue is no longer about the Kenyans. It's for them now, and we said, if you have any issues, kindly go to the Supreme Court. Now, we again thank the leaders again because all of them, they have been doing petitions after the other, responses after the other, and finally here we are. We are waiting for another 4 days. Hopefully by Monday, we are also, and we are urging our leaders from where they sit, and the voters everywhere in this nation, respect the final verdict of the Supreme Court, so Kenya can move on.
I tell you,
that is where we are.
So far, so good. We thank God for the achievement that Kenyans can be able to wait.
Yes.
After they do their job, voting, after the petition, as you are saying, our job is just to wait what is going to come out from Monday.
And most importantly, Again, I want to thank Kenyans that we have been saying, move on with your life. Whoever becomes president will not automatically come and make sure the economic life, your economic life changes overnight.
Yes.
So you have to keep on doing what you are doing, hoping that the government that comes will have conducive policies that will, I mean, will make life, for example, livelihood and all that better.
Yes.
So yes, let's move on with our lives. I mean, those guys up there, they are all earning. I mean, that is their work.
It's their work.
It is their work.
Do your work also.
Do your work. Also do your work. Let's meet on Monday.
Yes.
From there has to be only one winner. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
We have to tell our people, 16,000 people went to the vote. They were candidates during the elections. 16,000.
Yes.
Only 1,800 made it. So there are people who never made it. There can only be one winner in every election.
Yes.
So we are saying those who win, let all of us again support them, because there was only to be one winner. And I've been telling the people that if you're going to lose at any election, kindly just know you went to that election knowing there was only going to be one winner.
Yes.
That is very important. If you knew that, therefore, you're also obligated to accept the results. And the best way to heal, and I'm saying this because there are so many other people across the country from MCA position, MP, governors, who lost. The best way to heal, pick up your phone or a message, congratulate the person who have defeated you.
Yes.
That way you heal, your people heal, and you have a chance for the next time.
And I think, Dr., as you are saying, there's a culture that is developing in our political class. I have seen quite a big number of them. They are conceding defeat in public after the results are being announced. I think it's a good gesture in the political class.
Actually, what we need is maturity.
Yes.
The moment we have a very mature political culture, everything else works. The best thing to do, I mean, you go and pick the ballots and say you're going to vie knowing there's going to be one winner. The best way to do, if you believe that calling or a political leadership is a calling, because leadership is a calling.
Yes.
If you believe it's a calling from God, and you know it's God who called you to go and serve the people, then it happens that the same God, because God was able to make you win. God was able to talk to the hearts of the people. Now, if it doesn't happen now, then you should be saying, God, I did my best. And if God says it's not today, you don't have any reason to be angry with anybody, because it is God who is saying. If you know it's God who does this, then it means it's not today, it's tomorrow. David was anointed when he was very young.
Yes.
He spent 14 years learning away under very heavy persecution from Saul. That didn't prevent him from becoming king one day. So we need to teach. These are the things that, from my background on political science, on leadership, on governance, I've been trying to talk about. Let's build capacity. Let us talk about leadership. Let's talk about governance. Let's talk about how do we build leaders. How do we make this thing very mature?
Yes.
How do we bring hygiene in political leadership? Integrity, honesty, hard work, ethics. How do you talk about vision? How do you talk about people who are called to leaders? That way, it will not be a matter of life and death. You know that God, you stop this so that I can do something else. And if God, I still have the burden, one day you bring this home. The best way to handle this, and I like some of them who even posted video and said, look here, come, I've lost. I'm the governor. I've lost one term. Take it.
Yeah.
Because last time, somebody else also gave me the seat. But I want to fault those who, and that's a very bad kachakagi. If you have been defeated, please, you come to the swearing in of your predecessor. Come and hand over. You're not coming to because of that person that has won. You are coming because of the people who voted for you last time.
Yes.
To come and say, I thank you for the time you have given me. Even if I didn't make it, because you gave me the vote, I am here to thank you.
Yes.
Because you gave me the vote. I want to say it was very wrong, for some governors especially, to refuse to simply come and hand over.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't come, the event went on, because the law is very clear.
Yes.
But it's a moral issue. It's an ethical and moral issue. Just come and say, I thank the people because of the chance you gave me, and because you have decided I will not continue, I very gracefully hand over. That is a bad culture. We don't want situations whereby, because what happens when you come to the swearing of your predecessor, you help to cool political woods.
Yes.
You say it was nothing personal, just business, it was just politics, nothing personal. That way but the moment you don't, you create a lift.
Now,
that's the culture we need to.
We'll be coming back to that when talking about the election process in Kenya. But you are doing leadership and governance. You are an expert in that area, Daktari. And I think in Kenya, and even maybe in Africa, we have a problem with our politics, our leadership, and even our governance. And maybe Would you mind to maybe tell us what the difference between the three? We have the leadership, we have the politics, and we have the governance. Where they come together, or are they run individually?
We have a lot of confusion in this country about the whole thing. The whole issue about politics and leadership and governance, people don't know what's the difference, and they don't know what happens. That's why you see there's normally a lot of kind of confusion during election times.
Yes.
People don't know, are we in politics? Are we doing leadership? What is governance? Now, politics is the art of governing people. Simple. The art of governance.
Yeah.
It came out from Athens, where people came together and began saying, how are we going to be governed? That is politics. It's the art of sharing of resources. Who gets what, when, and how?
That's just politics.
That is politics. Who gets when, what? It's an issue of sharing of resources. Who gets when, what, when, and how? Now, leadership is a very serious issue. It's a calling. Now, Plato said that there are so many men, but leadership is a virtue given by God to very few men to lead others. It's not everybody who can lead.
Yes.
Not everybody who can lead. Even a Catholic chairman, even the BOM of a school, not everybody can lead. Both economically, business, war, everything, the church, leadership, it's a calling.
But it triggers the question, are leaders born or are they made?
No, leadership is a calling.
It's a calling.
The Bible says, I knew you from your mother's womb. It is something. David had it. Look, it was not imposed on him. Look at that.
Yeah.
But when it's born, then capacity building. What people say leaders made, that's what we call it capacity. You have the calling, you have the seed, but the seed has to be nurtured, right?
Yes.
That's a leadership. Now, what is governance? Governance is how you structure systems and structures on leadership. Once you become a leader, you need governance thing to know how now to drive it. Look,
yes.
And we have been saying, I remember this like yesterday from my lecturer at the University of Nairobi, political science lecturer. He told us several times, the biggest problem in Africa with African leadership is that the leaders don't want to put systems and structures. Because when you put a system and a structure, it can tie you. So they want to do things in a, like in a Kenyeji way, so that they can also take advantage of the lack of systems and structures to pass through.
Yeah.
And when we are going to have proper governance, where we know that we are sure we are heading somewhere, so the voter can see the beginning from the end. When you say that I'm going to deliver in these days, you can see the system. How? The question is this: yes, you are going to deliver. Can I see how you are going to deliver, so that I know there are no systems and structures? That's the biggest problem. We got devolution.
Yeah.
And we said 14 functions. Let them be devolved. Let functions follow money. Let everything. Where are we today? 10 years later, so many functions are in the national government.
Yeah, sure.
So much money is still held up in the national government. We don't have systems and structures that we can say, we are this country governed by these laws, and these are the systems. That is where governance comes in. And what we are going to do, and part of what I feel we need in this country, is the issue of capacity building. For example, look at the high turnover of MCs. MPs, we have a turnover about 70%, 65 to 70%. That's the number of people who lose seats every year.
Yeah.
MCs is 90% plus.
90%.
There are some county assemblies where nobody comes in back. Now, that's not good, because we don't elect people so that they can fail. You elect people, but because of lack of capacity. The voter do not know the role of the MC or MP or governor. I mean,
who's supposed to give them the capacity, or the capacity building?
We have a big problem, because for the last 10 years, there has not been very deliberate effort to actually capacity build. Both in the electorate, to know the laws of the 6 people they elect. Nobody knows. So it has not been very clear. The county assemblies, for example, once the MCs are elected, they should try very hard to capacity build them. And the county government should also capacity build the electorate, so that both of them know what is required of ABCD. So what we want to say and what we want to see going forward is the issue of making sure, once we get MCs, once we elect MPs, once we elect senators and governors, we help them as people, but also they need capacity so that they can understand their work. I'll give you an example. For example, in a county government, there's supposed to be a cycle of projects implementation, right?
Yes, yes.
The first quarter, approving the procurement plan. The second one, procurement happens. The third one, implementation. The fourth one, payments. But you go and discover, by the time the third quarter is done, projects are not even done. So you hear there's about 2 billion, 3 billion worth, 10 billion. Projects that were supposed to be done, they are not being done. Systems and structures. Lack of capacity in governance. People don't know the priorities, what they're supposed to do. That is the problem we have in devolution 10 years later. What are we saying? And what is the way forward? We need to have, as we move on now, there's going to be a lot of induction for MCAs, for MPs, for governors and all that, senators, to be able to understand their laws. And also for Wanjiku to know what happens when and where. What are we supposed to do? Who are we supposed to ask for roads? Who are we supposed to ask for water?
I think that tell you, as you are saying, the problem is when you talk about the common mwananchi, who is this that is going to go down to them and to be able to empower them, to inform them about maybe the roles of an MCA, the roles of an MP, the role of who is supposed to do this? I think it should be a process.
The role of civic education at the grassroots is the county government work. There should be so many meetings, so many the community engagements, public meetings, public participation meetings to tell them this is what needs to be done at this level. If you look at the amount of work, for example, the functions needed to be undertaken by the MCA, compare that with the MP, there's a lot of duplication also. You know, water, roads, bursary. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So everybody gets lost there. And so at the end of the day, you find confusion because you don't know who's supposed to do what, and you don't know who to blame. You blame the wrong person. You know, the wrong person loses their seat because of the demands and all that. For example, members of parliament, every time they are given a grant of 7 million to buy a car.
Yeah.
Now, when you see a new car at the grass, you say these people are they are doing very well. You know, but they are given a vehicle to facilitate. When an MC who is walking, literally, on a motorbike, on a motorcycle, looking for votes, gets elected, they get a car to help them, to learn the work of the ward. The people say, you see, this one has made it. Now we need another person. This one, he has made it so fast. So can we get another person next time so they can also make it? Look at that. They don't understand that this guy, he has to learn through, go to the assembly, go back to the village, do like 3-4 lands in one day. He needs a vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, when they see a vehicle, they begin thinking, this man has made it.
Yeah, he's now rich.
He's now rich.
Now, you've said that 90% of the MCA
yes.
are probably not re-elected
yes.
every election cycle.
Yes.
The same thing, 70% of our members of parliament
yes.
are
yes.
not re-elected.
Yes.
You have told us that one of the main problem is lack of civic education on the ground. Do you think there is something else that makes people not to re-elect their leaders?
Look, there are so many things. There are so many other factors. Like in these elections, what happens? There's a wave, the political party wave. If you're in the long party, and the national wave
yes.
is on a particular party, you lose your seat. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You may have done so well, but you also have to realize which party, which wave is in that area. That's a factor. Yeah, we have seen people who are doing
what you are saying, that listening to the ground.
No, listen to the ground. You have to first of all make sure you have the touch with the ground,
yes.
but also regional politics and the national politics for you to survive some of these things.
Yeah.
And now, what happens is that there are people, you have seen the issue of the calling. If God gives you a chance to become an MCA or an MP, and you have been looking for that opportunity, and you knew, David, it is said in the Bible that he has served for 40 years as a king of Israel. It was the most peaceful time in Israel. There has never been, and of course God says he's a man after God's heart. If you have the right leaders, I believe with all my heart, there's no way you can be elected, for example, and you are the right leader, you have the right passion and calling and everything, then you are not able. Other factors come into place. But if you have the right leaders, that's what we are saying. Please don't go to politics as business.
Yeah.
Don't go to politics because you have nothing else to do. Please go and look for that other thing to do. Because politics is a calling.
Yeah.
It's not a commerce. It's not a business enterprise. It's not a profit-making thing. So please don't go to politics if you want to become rich. You'll get out very poor.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yes.
If you wanted to make money, go and look for places where people make money, like industries and all that,
Yeah.
and open hardwares and all
But
that.
not in business.
Don't
not in
go
politics.
to politics and leadership. That's why I said leadership. Don't seek a leadership position because you want to be rich. That is one problem we have. The motive. You see people being called Washimiwa, driving a vehicle, everywhere you are being saluted, and you say, I want to be that person. Now, if you don't have, that's why once elections are done, we have about 340, both senators and MPs, for example.
Yeah.
Only 25 you'll see them relevant after 1 year only. They are the ones who are able to articulate their issues.
Yes.
You see them being invited to talk and all that. All the others go down. Why? The distinction between the people who called themselves into politics and leadership and the people who are called. You will see the distinction clearly. You can never fake leadership. Kagi, there's something you cannot fake. You cannot fake a calling.
I need clarification here.
Yeah.
Daktari, you talked about leadership is a calling.
Yes.
And I'm trying to ask myself, are politicians leaders? And maybe number two, what percent do our politicians become leaders? Or what percent do we have leaders in our political class? MPs, MCAs?
Politicians, anybody who goes and says I'm vying, have gotten into a political politics, right?
Yes.
And normally you go, either you give people money, or you use all the drama you can or something, you are elected, you are a politician, not necessarily a leader.
Okay.
And that's the decision I'm talking about. If you go use all the drama you can and get elected, for example, you are a politician. But within a year, people will know whether you are a leader. Yourself you will know, God will know, everybody else will know, and the people will know.
Yeah.
Now what happens, that's why I say you cannot fake it. Because you'll begin sinking slowly. You'll begin sinking. You begin realizing you're not able. People will know. So at the end of the day, everybody will know this guy is not who you are looking for. Because you rushed, because maybe of the allure of power and money. And that's why I'm urging, and I'm saying this 10 times, kindly. We are losing so many people into political oblivion because they rushed for other reasons other than they had a calling. I can tell you this, Paul, if you have a calling, you will not disappear.
Yeah.
You'll go, you'll fight for that seat, you'll get it again maybe, you'll move on, you'll remain relevant because a calling does not die.
Yeah.
It does not get stale. It can only get better. So the place to start is this, please, to help us with all this issue of high amount of turnover.
Yeah.
Number one, kindly, let's get the right people into leadership. The motive. When you're going to say, I'm going to vie, kindly have the right motive for leadership. If you have it, then everything is going to work. Don't go there for other board motives. But number two, once you get there, Paul, kindly, just make sure, even if you are from very down, I mean, maybe you didn't know anything, it doesn't mean that you cannot perform, but build capacity. Yeah. Build capacity, build yourself capacity, try to see what can be done quickly. People give elected leaders a honeymoon of about 1 year. 6 months to 1 year. I can tell you, they will be very good to you. They will give you space. We know, they will hold on. They will just say, let us watch, let us wait. I can tell you, after 6 months, if you have not hit the right chord with the electorates, after 6 months, you will not do it the last year.
Wow.
That will be it. I can tell you that. The good thing about me, I not only did I go to school to study political science and leadership, I have practiced it. Yes. I've been in the county government, I'm in the county assembly, so I know what I'm talking about. I can tell you. And by the time I left the leadership of the county assembly, I was marked the best performing MCA in Kenya. So what I'm saying, I know. I went, did a strategic plan, followed it up every year, did a lot beyond. I was able to lay a foundation for county assembly leadership. The lowest, as they call it, but the most powerful. The MCA, they call it the lowest down there. It's the most powerful position in Kenya. Because for an MCA, you can get information the president doesn't have.
True.
The information the MP doesn't have and the position the governor doesn't have. What are we saying here? Let's build capacity. Let us be proud, not fadhari. Once you elect a leader, respect them, give them space. Give them that time. First of all, let them see, give them time to try to activate what they said. Yeah. 6 months to a year, good enough. You know whether that person is the right person for you. That's what we need to do.
Thank you, Daktari. We'll be talking about the election process in Kenya, but at this juncture, I want to remind you, if you are watching us, wherever you are, this is MBCI TV. Today we have Dr. Peter Mbae, who is a leadership and governance expert, talking to us about election process in Kenya. If you want to give a comment, you can do that via our SMS number 23814 or WhatsApp 0721 105 105. Our Facebook is live, MBCI TV, our YouTube, MBCI TV official. And the question is, do you think Kenya has made good progress in elections management? Do you think Kenya has made good progress in election management? On 23814 SMS, WhatsApp 0721 105 105, or Facebook, MBCI TV, YouTube, MBCI TV Official. My name is Paul Kagi. Daktari, we go back to the question that I'm asking the viewer, that about the election management in our country. We have come from the electioneering period. According to how you have witnessed, you have been there before, how would you say regarding the election management in this country? Are we making progress? Are we stuck? Or we need to do a lot?
I think, Paul, that we are doing very well. I think we are doing very well. We are at about 70%, 75% of what we should be doing. Look at history. 2013, we did what we did. After the new constitution, there were parties that went to court, to the Supreme.
Yeah.
I mean, 2017, we went to Supreme. We actually respected look at the independence of the separation of powers and the respect for independence of institutions.
Yes.
We went for Arilan. Now here we are. The beauty about this is this. So far, until when Chebukati declared the deputy president-elect, everybody, not just us, election observers, there's no one who came out to say there were issues with our election management system. Giving this as an example, everybody was saying it was up to the bar. Why? There's nothing as important in election management as transparency, communication, move with the people. That's the beauty of it, and that's one aspect we have learned about leadership. When you're a leader, make sure you don't lose your people. Move on with them. You don't have to be Chebukati. You can be an MCA. You can be an MP. Let people understand how bursaries are given. Let people understand how you are doing this thing. Let people know you are pushing a major project here. It's not yet done, but you're already working on it. Move with the people. That's one big lesson. Communicate. Look, Chebukati says, I know this thing will take me many days.
Yes.
Going through all the 46,000 Form 34As will take me a lot of time. So that we can work together.
Yes.
I want you people, don't give me pressure. Every one of you have your agents. Media, observers, civil society, be at the 46,000 polling stations and pick your form. Pick your form, 34A, pick it. Go and add. I mean, he was saying, it's not about me only. We are in this thing together. Can everybody go add? Then when we meet at the Bomas, we just be saying, okay, what did you see? What's the figure? What's the figure? And that's what is happening. The fact that Chebukati was able to open to us that space where everybody would go and begin, move on with him, move on the process together, was one thing that made observers to say it was very transparent. And that's why today, watching and even listening, we are very sure about one thing. Anybody who had the due diligence, Paul, to pick a calculator, get 46, because surely if you are a serious person interested with elections in Kenya, the presidential results, definitely, you must have had people across.
Yeah.
You must have had people, the 46,000 police stations. Now, if I can pick only one thing on election management in Kenya, it's that. That was a game changer. The fact that, Kagi, compare that with Kivuitu's time, where Kivuitu was saying, even me, I don't know where my people are. Yeah. Nobody knew which figures have come, where they could be manipulated.
Now, before we continue from that point, I'm being told that we need to have a short break, and then we continue from there. So we are having a short break. We'll be right back after this.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
Spell the English word soldier.
S-O-N-J-A. S-O-N-J-A.
Can't let go. Usinione mtu hivi kwa kizungu utasemaje?
Yani, don't try this at home. Unaweza date dakika yote, basenga mbumba. GSU anaitwaje in full?
In full tuseme ni serikali kubwa kuliko gava wa kawaida.
I want to go home. I want to go home.
Mjukuu wa babu yako kwa Kiswahili wewe utamwitaje?
Mjukuu wa babu yangu? Si ni mtoto wangu?
I have my daughter who is now 3 years, about 8 months, and she has been here for a year now. I was one of those very nervous parents because I remember coming here my first day and my daughter was barely 3 years old. And I wasn't too keen on taking her to any school before she was 3 years old. And then I met the head teacher and he was like, she's ready. And I really wasn't sure about that. And the first experience of just being taken around the school and being explained what they did, looking at the facilities, it was impressive. I was impressed that they could take children as young as 1.5 years old. And I remember my first and second day, I was quite nervous. She on the other hand, wasn't. She was very interested in the playground, and it was a bit painful to see her walk away from me, not even looking back. I was the one who had tears. It's been especially amazing to watch how her social skills and interactions with others have grown. She is kind, right? She knows how to relate to others. She has a lot of empathy, and that has been amazing for me to see as a parent, and one of those things that I was very keen when I came searching. I came to Kipepeo looking for cognitive, emotional, and social growth. I have gotten everything plus now the academic part.
Kipepeo School. Curious minds, brave hearts. Admissions ongoing. Enroll your child today.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
All right, welcome back to the Mid-Morning Park here on MBCI TV, and today we are talking about the election process in Kenya. We are together with Dr. Peter Mbae, the leadership and governance expert. We are trying to put into perspective the whole issue about the election process in Kenya. If you have some comments, some questions, you can ask via SMS number 23814, our WhatsApp number 0721 105 105, Facebook MBCI TV, our YouTube MBCI TV official. Now, Dr. we were talking about the election management, and that is a question we are asking this morning. Do you think Kenya has made good progress in election management?
Yes, and I was saying a big yes. We have seen how far we have gone.
Yes.
And I was saying the biggest issue we have seen in this particular election is transparency. And that's why I'm saying, for me, the whole issue about the Supreme is very simple. The issue of 2017 was transparency of Form 34A. Where was it? How was it transmitted? The transparency about the whole issue.
2017.
2017. And that's why we went to Alilan. This time around, it is all there. And by the way, I want to say this. In this Supreme Court issue, nobody has a problem with whether Kenyans voted. And that's why I don't see Alilan. Nobody has a problem. Nobody have said, oh, there were some bombs in Marsabit, oh, some goons from Sudan came and disrupted voting in Kachaliba. Yeah. Nobody. Everybody is saying, everybody is left at, was 34A side. Were all agents present? Did everybody get a copy? Let's start from there. So just mathematics. Actually, what Supreme should do, just to say, okay, fine. Did everybody vote? Yes. Form 34, is it there? Yes. Because everybody has. It's not only one Form 34A. Everybody has a copy. Everybody. Actually, let me say this, Paul. By midnight on 9th, by midnight, around 2, 3, every serious person involved, interested with the presidential results, had results. We knew who was the winner by 9th. It's not about us thinking. We didn't have to wait for some system to go through, portal, then some mechanical arithmetics to be done. It was calculation of 46,200 polling stations adding up to what number? That is what we are talking about. So we all knew, everybody, NIS, you know, the government, both all the 4 presidential contenders, the NIS, I mean, I spoke about the international observers, everybody interested knew, because that's a game changer. And I can tell you this, if the issue about uploading to the portal is neither here nor there, the court will go back to Form 34A as issued at the police station.
So you don't think the petitioners have a genuine concern?
I will leave the merits and the demerits to the Supreme because the court is ongoing. But I will say from this is just analysis. What we are saying is this. we have seen the issues because the CJ gave the 9 issues they are looking at. Allowed 3 of them are revolving around Form 34A. Along 3 issues, among the 9.
Yes.
Whether they are the ones uploaded in the portal are the ones the agents have. They are the ones the agents were given.
Yes.
Were given at the local level. So if you look at all the 9 issues, the major of them goes to the integrity of Form 34A.
Yeah.
Whereby everybody interested with this election had their copies. So what are we saying here? I see a situation whereby the Supreme will be very reluctant to subject Kenyans to another vote because they voted and Form 34A at the polling station captured their aspirations.
Yeah.
So what is likely to happen if the matter becomes so difficult? Therefore, what the Supreme can do is to say, fine, can everybody take a calculator and begin adding up from 34A from the 46,000 police stations? And that's it.
I think that one of the concerns with those who have petitioned, what Nanim, the CJ was saying yesterday, was to verify if the portal was interfered with. And I think that is one of the concerns with the petitioners, to verify if the portal was interfered with.
I will say this, Paul. If the portal was interfered with, what is the content of the portal from 34A? So, if the portal was interfered with, for example, we go back to Form 34A, the original one issued at the police station. You see, Paul, it's a zero-sum game. Look, let me tell you, from where we sit as a political analyst and a scientist, literally, because scientists, we go by data. Scientists, we are empiric. We don't shout things. We go by logic. We argue logically. If the problem, assuming, because that thing I hear was everybody was trying to hack it. I don't know for what reason. You are hacking a portal, but we have the original forms. So suppose the portal was hacked. Then we go back to calculations of the Form 34A, the original ones. You see, the idea of Chebukati was that he had said this, Azimio, Mwaure, Wajakoya, Kenya Kwanza, you have your agents at the police stations. Definitely, you don't expect, there are some who didn't have, it's unfortunate. If you are leading a presidential campaign, you didn't have agents. That's your problem. Now, you come with your Form 34A to Bomas. Of course, that 4A, from that 4B, was filled from that 4A. Come, we all agree. Is this what you got from the police station? What about you? What about you? And what we have, we tick. That's what was happening at Bomas for the 7 days. So if the portal was just somewhere where the Form 34As were uploaded, if they were uploaded, then somebody hacked the portal, the court will revert to Form 34A as issued at the police station. I want us to let's agree, and we are breaking this down for the people who may not understand the jargon. If you want to have headache and depression and stress for these 4 days, 5 days, glue yourself on TV to listen to some English that you don't even understand yourself. You are going to have headache, and I'm telling people, by the way, concentrate on your life. These people there, every hour they are talking, every word they mention, the Abir is in Kali. They are going to send an invoice. So don't fret yourself too much with this English. You cannot understand. This is Supreme Court. They have picked the best lawyers who are in town.
Who can give the best jargons.
And one of the things you have noted is the best jargons and complications and Latin words. Like, look here. Me, I'm talking as in a layman language. Because what we do as analysts, as scientists, we pick the English heavy one. We come and tell the voter here, this is what is going to happen. The summary of this thing. And that is how it's likely to go. So, and I've been telling people yesterday, I was with about 300 people, I was telling them the day before yesterday, look here, please, once you watch all this, you watch all the TV stations and the radio stations in the evening, please, make sure you read a scripture in the Bible that gives you peace and pray and sleep. If you don't do that, Paul, you'll wake up, you'll have nightmares in the middle of the night at 1 and 2 petitions, affidavit, chelela, those words. They will ring in your mind at night. You will not be able to sleep.
At least Kenyans are learning new.
So, exactly. So please focus. Let's follow because again the process. It's very beautiful what's happening there because you are able to follow. So you have seen Kenyans. They have not gone to a law school, but they can be able to decode logic. Have you noticed that, Paul? People are able to decode logic. Some of them who understand there. If you look at the social media pages right now, everybody's trying to say, I am not a lawyer, but I don't see the logic. Simple. what Supreme have ever done, just like Chebukati did, is to allow lawyers to fry themselves.
Yeah.
You know, you are giving space and time and media space. Fry yourself for 3 hours. I can tell you, most likely, the Kenyans are also trying to see the logic. So even the Supreme Court judges, they will not differ from very far from what the mood and what is happening there. And when you see a Supreme Court, be very careful. When you see those judges asking difficult questions, be very worried. Because they will listen for 3 hours. 3 hours, lighting is stuff, you know, lighting. Then finally, they will ask you 3 questions. That is where the judgment will come. Look at 2017. You know, the guys, they spoke for hours. You know, they spoke. Then he asked, tell me, you remember the question that Marag asked? And they were all over the place, like 4 lawyers, trying to answer. And finally, and you see, the beauty about the judge, they will not tell you, we have not understood, or we have not gotten it. They will keep quiet. Once they see you are not sure, or you have not answered, they will not tell you there, but they will mark it. This one, they have not answered.
There's one question that was there, Daktari, 2017, is what I want to ask you. And somehow it's like it's reappearing this time around. Regarding some voters, like last election, I think that was one of the reasons why there was a repeat of election, is whereby if you look at the Kim's kit, the number of people who keyed the Kim's kit, and those who voted in the polling station, there were more. They were saying like 2 million something. And the lawyers could not be able to tell the court, tell us, were there some people who came to the polling station, they only come and voted for president only and went back home? I want to relate this to what the CJ said yesterday. They want to open the 15 polling stations. I feel that in the same scenario which is trying to rebuild, right? As an expert, do you think that scenario will hold water in this case? If they find that there are some voters who came, only voted more for president, more than other candidates?
I'll tell you this. That's a very technical issue. And I'll give you this from my own analysis. This issue came up in 2017.
Yes.
I'll ask one question. How do you force me to vote? Do you know there are people who travel from Kisumu to Nairobi, from Kakamega to Central Kenya to vote for the president? Because they don't know these other people. They don't know who is a governor. They don't know who is a women. They don't live there. So you cannot therefore say, logically again, let's talk about logic. You can't therefore say, just because somebody traveled from Mombasa to Kisumu to vote for X candidate, that they had to therefore go and vote for everybody else. It's not necessary. So that is neither here nor there.
Yeah.
You cannot, not unless you show evidence that they were given only for presidential papers. If I don't want to vote for these other categories, if I don't want to do these categories, and that's why we are saying, let's wait and see the evidence you prove. Because the issue here is, I want you to prove. Don't force me to vote for 5, for 6. Prove, demonstrate in court why that is an anomaly. Simple. Why that is an anomaly that we had more presidential votes than the other positions. And if their papers were picked and they went wherever they went, that is an issue IBC should answer. But don't victimize me if I chose to vote for only the president. Those are the issues we need to agree here. I don't know. I mean, are you telling me there are people who came, they were given some papers, and they pocketed them? Another issue, if you give me 6 papers and I decide to walk away with them, and I mean...
From the polling station?
If I decide to. Look here, this is an open place. You feel there are boxes here. I don't see the logic. If the petitioner, in this case Azimio, feel that is a big issue, let them take evidence to the Supreme how that is a big issue. Remember something called the threshold. Paul, at the Supreme there's something called the threshold. You can have these 9 issues. The question will be determined is this: do they carry the water? Is the anomaly so much that they had the capacity to tilt the presidential resource exile? That is a key issue here. It's one thing to have the issues, but also you look at the weight. So this issue about people coming, presidential elections were more, people vote for president alone. Now, if they got the papers and whatever, you cannot begin asking somebody who went back to Mombasa, where they came to Kisumu one day to vote for one person.
Yeah.
Those are the issues we need to, let you come with evidence. If you think, like for example, I like the issue of opening. I mean, they couldn't allow the whole country. 15, not even farmers, the counting, the 15.
Yeah.
We are ready. We are ready. I mean, that's what we want. We want also, even us, we want to know how authentic was Form 34A. So, let the forms be open. The problem, and I want to say this, the problem with one side of these petitioners is that they didn't have agents. If they had agents, the issue would not be come up. Because they would be going back to their agents. Even before they put that as an issue, they would have compared. Why are there's something we are missing here, Paul. Yeah. We were told to have agents for presidential so they can have the forms. So if you didn't have agents who could carry the forms with you, you are coming to give those issues to the Supreme Court. That is something that I would have solved. You say, do you have where is your own form? Where is your own form? We bring it here. Yeah. So now, it's a matter we are taking to the Supreme Court, which was a very simple matter. And we are hoping, it is tomorrow at 2, right? At 2, yeah. At tomorrow at 2, yeah. we get the report of the votes that were there. Then we move on.
Something else which is coming up very strongly regarding this case is the issue of the IEBC commissioners.
Yes.
3 versus 4. It is for the first time, I think, 2017, 2013, where we're seeing the IEBC is split to maybe to the middle. They are presenting themselves in the court when they are not one. I don't know. Do you think the issue of IEBC division is going to affect their presentation in the court?
Paul, I'll say this quickly, that we need to be serious in this country. I spoke about leadership and governance. We have to keep on talking about leadership and governance. We have to tell our people, that we have to put up systems. We have to put up institutions and structures. Yeah. We have to put institutions of government, and we have to support the institutions to deliver. Because we cannot not all be commissioner of IBC or any other commission. Once we put commissioners, we need to support them. Look at this. We agreed that we are not going to have commissioners from abroad to come and sit in our IBC. We have to have Kenyans.
Yes.
Paul, the other person who is a Kenyan, who comes from a village, who comes from a community. But the moment you pick the Bible, and you are picked from 50 million, let's say 19, I mean the adults, right? For example, 22 million who are adults, who are voters. We pick 7 to be the referee for something as important as an election. You divorce yourself from your family, from your clan, from your community. You are no longer of the political connection, the kind of coalition you are in, or where you come from.
Yes.
You become a property of this nation to serve the Kenyans. So if you are given such a position, and then you are still getting calls from the people who, the coalition or the people who recommended you for the job, then you are failing Kenyans. And I want to suggest this. If it is found that the 4 commissioners, whatever they have been doing, is very much illegal, and if it is discovered and confirmed they have political connections, trying to pull strings, they should resign immediately. We don't have time for jokes in this country. We don't have time for play games and jokes. You cannot, be due to your political connection or alienation or formation, you cannot come to put at risk the entire thing, costing billions, I think 15 billion, to put it at risk just because there are some calls you are receiving from people who you had friendship or whatever of the community you are coming from to come and interfere. It's very simple. Chebukati comes from a community, just like the other Kenyans. All of them are Kenyans. But please, the moment you are given a task, can you deliver it? What am I saying here is that that kind of division is so unfortunate. Is very unfortunate. We saw the 3 commissioners. We saw the other 4. Yeah. And what Kenyans are saying could be the 4 were pushed by some political formations so that they can countercheck what Chebukati is doing because of some belief that IBC is, like some commissioners are held on, on this formation. Yeah. Others are leaning on this formation. I want to say this again. Because of the respect we have for independent institutions, IBC has to remain. 27 is coming. 2032. We need people with integrity who know they are beyond their communities and political formations to be able to be commissioners.
And I think that is where we have a challenge, Daktari. Those independent commissions, because IEBC will be there, as you were saying. Yeah. Elections will be there, as much as we are in Kenya. Now, how do we go about finding a commission that is very firm, very independent, very reliable. Wow, which formula should we use? Because maybe when they go there, they seem to be reliable, but along the way, they are compromised.
I'll say this, because when I'm speaking this way, there is half of this nation who think Chebukati bargained the election.
Yeah.
There are half of this country who think Chebukati is a hero, and the 4 commissioners, they are the ones who are used to bango. Let's talk this way. On Monday, the beauty of these things, the things that have been done behind the scenes, they are coming out in the open.
Yes.
For the next 4 days. By Monday, the judge, Supreme Court, who are not in the commission, will render their judgment. And they will tell us, they will praise all these commissioners where they belong, right? They will tell us whether the 4 commissioners, whether they were right or wrong. They will tell us about Chebukati. So that we don't, like I'm saying here, we have only 4 days. I'm happy that for us, within 4 days, we shall know what is the direction. After that, Nagi. If the Supreme says that Chebukati, you did your bit, and actually the person you announced is the president, we shall know that there was interference from the 4 commissioners.
Yeah.
And they will be asked to resign. If Supreme says otherwise, we'll have a precedent. In short, because the matter is in court, we'll know from where they come, all of them. All the issues they are saying, counter accusations and all that, those kind of things, will come to a finish. We'll know. But what I'm very sure, we must have one commission speaking with one voice. The problem is when politicians, they want to control independent positions by putting in their people, pushing their people to be there, then they will be handling them like this. You know, they can be handling them. That's the problem we have. Yeah. But by Monday, we'll have known the situation very well. If and when the court affirms the election of the president-elect, we shall ask the others, you failed the test. That is it.
All right.
For Chebukati, again, let's see what happens. By Monday, we'll have the way forward about the commission. But I can tell you this, we cannot allow ourselves to go that direction. Let's have people who know that they can serve this country and put aside their political alienations. That's very important.
On Monday, we are expecting some results or outcome. What are the possible outcomes from both ends, from the Supreme? What are the possible scenarios?
There's something we are sure, that the Supreme Court has no powers. A Supreme Court is not IBC. They can only do 2 things. They can either reaffirm the election of the president-elect and say he was duly elected and that the announcement by Chebukati stands.
Yeah.
Or, and that's the beauty of the Supreme. These people are busy. These people are very senior. You cannot keep them, with all those guys. They will not have so many things to do. At the end, finally, after the ruling, we'll be interested with, therefore, this court. Look at this, canters full of evidence, others pickups, others what, 54. Actually, a total of about 200 lawyers. They're handling that case. But the beauty of it, within 4 days, whatever you have to say it quickly. Whatever you have to do it quickly. Us, we'll go to the point. Only 2 things. Was Chebukati in order to declare the president-elect as president? Number 2, it was not. The systems were not working. There was a problem with everything. Go back to the vote. So either on 5th, we start the process of inaugurating the swearing of the deputy president, who is the president-elect right now, or on 4th of November, we go back to the polls. Those are the 2 scenarios. Let me put this clearly for clarity and avoidance of doubt. The Supreme Court has no powers to declare the Right Honorable Laila Amolo Odinga as president. They don't have the powers. They can only disqualify. They can only annul the election.
The election.
That's all. Those are the 2 options. They have no powers.
What about the recount of votes?
They can. That one. People are arguing, but like now, that's what they have ordered.
Yeah.
They can. They can. They can say, if the issue is votes, the beauty about this is this. The court didn't say, can the 6 polling stations go back to vote? No. They said, I don't think anybody here has raised an issue about how Kenyans voted. I want to congratulate Kenyans again. I want to thank God for the peace on 9th. That nobody is saying that. The issue is, the ballot papers are here. Inside each ballot box, there is Form 34A. So it will be simple. Can we see whether what is in the form is the votes? That's what they're going to confirm. So that's the beauty about it. And so those are the scenarios we're expecting on Monday. And it is as simple as that. And I'm saying this, fine, democracy is expensive, right? Because if this was a kingdom, there will be no elections. You know, it is the father, you know, rules for 20 years, that gives back to the son. But this is a democracy. And do you know what I'm saying? If it will take, Alilan, for this country to be peaceful and move direction, let it be.
Yeah.
If it will take Alilan for this country to have one decisive leader as president, who will be confirmed as president, let it be. Because we also cannot continue in a state of paralysis. Yeah. We don't know. This one is saying, no, we have the country. The other one is saying, we have the country. We won. We didn't win. What for? If the Supreme finds, but I'm urging the Supreme Court, and I'm saying this, what Kenyans are thinking? Kenyans are tired. Kenyans are very tired. To ask Kenyans again to go to by-elections, to go for a rerun, Kenyans are tired because even the 9th, that's why you saw 8 million Kenyans didn't come out to vote. And you can't blame them. Because somebody is calculating, I need 2,000 to live where I am, to go and vote where I am registered. It was not possible. The economy is harsh. I mean, just fueling, you know, it's crazy. But you may not have a vehicle, but you are also feeling the pinch because of the matatu that you're going to jump in, because they have doubled the fare. So everybody is crying. Food issues and all that, fees and all that, in the midst of going back to school. So somebody is saying, my 5,000, by the time I live here, travel, eat, sleep, come back, I will have spent 5,000. I don't have the money. So look, people are tired. You can see how Kenyans are tired, Paul, by the by-elections.
True.
We had.
Yeah. Now, we are talking about election management, and away from the verdict of the Supreme next Monday, the Supreme Court has been very instrumental in trying to strengthen the operations of our elections, especially IEBC. Now, looking at 2017, the Supreme Court, after declaring that we go back to the election, they really brought about the issue of empowering the IEBC, Form 34, all those things. Now, again, because there are some issues which has been raised by some people at the Supreme Court, do you feel that we expect some more changes, more strengthening of our election process through the Supreme Court?
No, that's very positive.
Yeah.
Some people are arguing, and it's a fact. Okay, we would have wished, you know, after 9th, when Chebukati made the announcement, they were able to clap and hug each other, the two leading presidential contenders, and say, okay, fine, you have won, you are lost. But of course, we understand that, you know, you have millions of people behind you, and you are saying, no, I'm not satisfied. So we respect the fact that that everybody went to court. Now, however, they're going to court. It will create issues. The 9 issues.
Yeah.
By the time they are determined, it will strengthen the systems and structures that IEBC should take note for future. It will strengthen. It will add to the, like 2013. You can see 2017 when CJ, the former CJ Maraga,
yeah,
and his team put a lot of pressure on Form 34A. You can see what this time Chebukati has done. Transparency on Form 34A. So this time they may raise other issues. These other issues again will be sorted. You know, it will help. It will aid in those other things. Of course, I've seen people argue now, like for example, about the postponement of the gubernatorial and other MP seats in Kakamega and Mombasa. Again, is an issue. You have to prove so hard, and the threshold at the Supreme Court is very high. You have to prove that indeed the postponement was deliberate, number one, and that it cost some depression of the votes, suppression of the votes rather. So those are things we are saying. You go to court Supreme, you have to be very sharp. Paul, the moments you are given, those guys are watching like this. And I can tell you, these are the best brains, the best legal brains in this nation. By the time you are a Supreme Court judge, man, you have it. So whatever you are saying there, be very careful and go to the point. By the way, Supreme Court judges do not listen to hearsays. They don't listen to, oh, you know, I heard. You know, I was told. I heard. And by the way, I am seeing a situation whereby the people who have sworn affidavits, be very careful. Because if you swear an affidavit, you swear that is true.
Yeah.
better be sure it is true. Because if it is found out to be untrue, you can go in. You can the court can take action against you. You know, there's this excitement. Oh, somebody comes from the and say, I also have a petition. You know, can I add something? Can I add something? Be very careful. Be very careful. So we are saying this thing will add value in a big way. And speaking of which, we have been very keen on telling people, okay, I have a bit of a big background on media and communication. And I've been watching what has been going on in social media. And I've been telling people, look here, guys. Even if you say all those things here with a lot of vigor and energy, you know, I think the companies that are leaping big in all these things are the ones that sell data and bundles. Yeah. Because everybody is buying bundle to be relevant in the pages. But I told them sometime, please, all this evidence you have here, you know, we were there, done this, and people are circulating things. Some of them fake. There's a lot of fake. You can see for the next 4 days, just like the 7 days. You remember the 7 days? Yeah. So everybody is circulating that we have won this thing. We have taken this thing. So I was telling them, if you have evidence that you have won, take it to your chief agent. He's at Bomas, right? Pass that information to your chief agent, that police station where you won. This time around now, everybody is becoming a lawyer. And there is a lot of traffic about how, you know, our person have done this. Relax. And if you are supporting Azimio or Kenya Kwanza, and you have this very strong evidence, please send it to your lawyer. Just take it to your lawyer. He's the one at the Supreme Court. Yeah. So because the matter can only be decided there. All this traffic in social media will not determine anything. But maybe you can have some revelation at night that you see, it is this police station where we lost. Maybe you know a vision can come at night. Please send that vision to your lawyer. So that now it can be presented to the Supreme Court judge. It can be included in the final judgment on Monday. In short, what am I saying? Let us cool, let us relax. Let us hope. Let us put all our weight on the Supreme, the way we had hoped for IBC. And that's why you can see the beauty about institutions. You can see the beauty about election management. Yes, IBC, you're independent, do your work. Are you done? Somebody is not happy. Come on, Supreme Court. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's very nice. So there's some countries that have nowhere near what you're talking about. This is very, very beautiful. And we are seeing the strengthening of our institutions, of our structures. It can only become better. Yeah. So please, I'm asking all our people who are very busy on social media, it's okay to give your opinion here, but it will not matter. If you have some very weighty evidence, send it to your lawyers. They're all here. You can see the lawyer for Azimio, for Kenya Kwanza, for who, about like 50 parties are there. And by the way, the lawyers you are seeing, they are 50. The others like 100 outside in another tent. So send your lawyer and then let's see what happens here.
You have talked about social media. And we are talking about peace during election and after election. We are very happy for that. Yeah. But I don't know, Daktari, whether, because in the social media, if you have seen a culture that is developing, personally I feel is very dangerous and need to be managed about, we are saying half this side, half this side. And you see, when this side wins, as much as we're enjoying the peace we are having, there is a culture of mocking the other team that is coming up, especially in social media. You know, it's like now we are coming from the physical confrontations to the social media. Now, how do you manage the mockings?
Thank you, Paul. This is what we are saying, and this is very important. One, I want us to know, like you said, there are two teams. And I will tell you this. This election was very close. Yeah. The number of votes you are talking about, 50 plus 1, they are very few, as per Chebukati. So we need to be very magnanimous. We need to be very mature. Paul, seated here, you stood and voted, you belong to some coalition. I did the same. I sit in some strategy, senior positions in some of these coalitions. But we are Kenyans at the end of the day. Okay? We are saying, yes, we may win. My coalition would win, Paul, but doesn't mean you cease to be a Kenyan because you are in the other camp that lost. Right? It doesn't mean that now, because we have lost, and we have won, you have lost, you'll be going to Uganda and you'll be coming here only during the day. But now, you'll be spending the night in Uganda or Sudan because you lost an election. No. It's only that there was a presidential election, right? Somebody had to win. It is now for the one who wins to know half of the country was not with me. Yes. So, the first statement I make, I'll be making both to the people who voted for me and half of the country who didn't vote for me. That is the maturity we need. So that when you're talking about how I'm going to take forward, I'll be saying, look, today I thank God for this win. It's a win for the people of Kenya and even the people who didn't vote for me. I will be the president for every part of the country. Now, that is very assuring. Because we have seen in the past whereby it's a winner takes it all. If our man is the president, we benefit. If he is not, we are lost in development for 20 years. We want to kill that. And that's why, by the way, we are saying, once we have somebody magnanimous to come and say, no, I belong to this country. So, governors, even if the governor was elected, not my governor, for my coalition, in certain area, I'll work with you. Because you are the leader. It's you who know the needs of the people. MPs, senators, women, MCAs. The governor to come and say, even if I didn't get the votes in this area, 2 sub-counties, I'll work with you. Because at the end of the day, I am now the leader. We need such kind of discipline and maturity going forward. And that's why I will repeat. The moment we allow ourselves to mature politically in governance and leadership, everybody benefits. However, but we are saying, going forward, we don't want to make this presidential thing very, very lucrative. You know, the problem, okay, I know we had proposals about the official opposition, you know, so shadow cabinet, so somebody can feel there's a fallback plan. Right now, you lose, you go home completely. It's crazy. Of course, those are some of the good things that were in BBI, but the problem with BBI, Paul, is that there was good, mix-up, ugly, beautiful, everything was put in one pot. So by the time you go for the good one, there's too much other things here. That's how it got lost. Okay. That's a subject of another day. So to go back to what we are saying, we need now the issue of social media, therefore. One of the things that NCIC, the National Cohesion Commission, said in April was issue of the threat of social media and fake news. And everybody say, oh, you know, NCIC, they want to shut down social media. I said, we were not shutting, we were just saying. And I can tell you, it is God who has managed this country. The kind of stuff written on social media, if you pick to your phone and go through, you can completely lose your mind. It's too much. The traffic, there's fake news. Somebody will go create something with a letterhead.
People are enjoying the freedom of
with a letterhead.
expression.
Somebody will go and pick a letterhead. I don't know from where they pick it, from MBC TV. Do a statement and sign and spread it before you wake up. It has reached US. Yes. You are being called from London about statement you have released. Now, I don't know. Now, this is just beyond. But these days, actually, I'm very keen. There are some pages where my friends are in. I'm very keen. Anything I read, I ask my question. So if these pages where people send things, I highlight, I ask, have you confirmed whether it is fake or authentic or whatever? Because before even you consume, because you consume and begin sharing, but you don't know whether it's fake. So ask yourself when you see a post, is it fake? Is it authentic? First, before you spread it. That is number one. Number two, disinformation. It's called disinformation, misinformation. Everything else about everything that is good, that is bad, is done there. You want to tilt the whole thing. You know, this one has happened. And then, if you find a wrong post, Paul, if you come across a wrong, which is not decent, moral, which is abusive, kindly don't share it. Let it die there. Yeah. You know, someone said the rumors end or die when they reach the ears of a wise man. Please, if you find a way which is not good, which does not edify, which is causing pain to the team, the other team that will lose or have lost or maybe is not winning, please don't share. What for? Why are you gloating? Why are you boasting that you have won an election? I mean, surely, this was just an election. It was competition. It was democracy. It was not like a life sentence. Yeah. That because your camp have lost, you're going to die or you're going to be auctioned. No. It was just an election. So maturity, again, let's talk about these things. We need this country going forward and working. And the only way this can happen is when you have institutions that are working, Paul.
Okay. Now, we are here. It's leadership and governance expert, Dr. Peter Mbai is here with us. We are trying to put into perspective the issue of the election management in Kenya. If you want to talk to us, it's very simple. You can do that through SMS number 23814, or you can even WhatsApp 0721-105-105. We are live on our Facebook account, MBCI TV, also our YouTube, MBCI TV official. Do you have any question, any comment about the issues we are discussing this morning? And the mid-morning pack, you can text us through 23814. My name is Paul Kagi. Now, Daktari, because time is far much gone, there was a by-election.
It was more of by-elections. They are mobile, in all sense. Well,
yes.
Yeah, repeat. You can call it repeat elections.
Repeat elections in the 2 counties and I think 4 in some constituencies.
Parliamentary, yeah.
Yeah, and they were conducted yesterday and completed by the day before yesterday. Now, they were done after we have done the election. They were part of the main election, general election. Now, how did you see the by-elections? Because compared with the general election in various counties, constituencies, and this one done after the general election, is there any comparison? Were there improvement? What was your observation regarding those by-elections?
Of course, what happened is that the turnout was expected to be low.
In fact, extremely low.
Extremely low. And that was expected. Because definitely, you see, a general election is where all these logistics, some people have to travel. Most people don't live in those areas.
Yeah.
There are people who travel. So, of course, that was not easy. So we expected. Actually, that's what I was saying. In other words, for me, from a technical point of view, it was actually like a by-election. In all words. Yeah. One, because of the turnout and all that, it was done outside the others.
Yeah.
And if you look at the numbers. Secondly, one characteristic of a by-election is that other people come in to help. We saw that in Mombasa, we saw that in Kakamega, we saw that in Rongai here, where some people are claiming that the entire brigade of Kenya Kwanza came, but they were coming to help a brother. There's nothing wrong with that. Those are the characteristics of a by-election. Yeah. Now, by-elections, they are determined by the existing national wave of the party resident in that area. That's what happens, completely. It depends on the... But a situation like a place like Rongai, for example, it was very different because if elections were held on 9th, maybe, for example, maybe the result would not have been the one that happened because everybody came in and helped and said, we must win this seat.
The sitting MP was complaining that the 54 brigades came for only one man.
But they were not actually coming for one. They were coming to help their brother to win the seat. So really, we need to understand that, you know? We need to understand. Just the same way, everybody went to Kakamega and Mombasa. The other brigade, every brigade was somewhere, right? But as you can see, and by the way, every brigade, you can say a brigade was here, but every brigade was somewhere. Yeah. So it's only that now the mathematics and calculations they didn't go the way they were supposed to go. These are polls. I mean, you accept and move on this election. There was nobody who was, for example, coming to kill or vanquish a certain family. No, it was just elections. You know, I don't know why when people win elections, they don't complain too much and see how they don't see how God has helped them to win, even a term or two. Yeah. The day they lose, they will complain. They will tell you, see, what happens, Mungu Meniacha, you know, these kind of things, the people and all that. But this is just election. So, yes, the by-elections, and the beauty about it, everybody's happy. I mean, today, in the country, we have, now we have the full list of governors.
Yes.
I mean, 24 versus 23, 24 for Kenya Kwanza, 23 for Azimio. Even after winning Kakamega and governor and Mombasa, 23 against 24, senators the same. 24 Kenya Kwanza, 23 Azimio. MPs, if you depending on who you ask, they have not yet agreed who have the majority. But I can tell you for now, as we speak right now, what Kenya Kwanza did, they picked a few others, you know, to show up the numbers. And they are called the working relationships. You know, it's extending the working relationships. Actually, this country going forward, it will be led by partnerships, coalitions, and agreements.
It's a culture that is building slowly by slowly.
You can't win. You can't say me, my party only. You see? So I don't know why people are complaining. If Kenya Kwanza, because those people are there, independents were there. It depends on who was going to tell them, can we work together? Yeah. Now, if their parties are close, because there are so many parties, some with 7 MPs, some with 5, you know, and you are here as a father saying, my house has many rooms, you know, you come. Those are the things we are going to see going forward. So, as we speak right now, we are likely to see National Assembly be controlled by Kenya Kwanza, the Senate controlled by Kenya Kwanza, the most...
What do you mean by control? Because I think control...
A majority. Majority members means they are going to elect the Speaker. if you have a majority of senators from your coalition,
it's true.
They will elect the Speaker.
Yeah. For example, if you go to if they're electing the Council of Governors.
Yes.
They can elect by
They are
only
going
one
to
vote.
elect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I'm asking about the 2/3
Yes.
majority rule. Do we have any party which has a 2/3 majority rule so far?
No, let me tell you something about majority. Paul, with this issue, that's what I'm saying. The Constitution 2010 is very good, but it had some extremes. It had some things that were not able. You know, I mean, we were very excited by doing that Constitution also. There are some things that are not possible. However, Paul, look at this way. You can see how the issue of 2/3 is bringing itself naturally, not forced. There's some things you can't force.
How?
Look, for example, I'll give you the figures that I have. In the year 2013, we have 43 women MCAs elected. 2017, 84. Right now, we have 120. I think 112 or 120 elected. That's a natural 2/3 way. We are moving naturally. Look at women governors. Okay? The first government, none. The second one, 3, if I'm not wrong. This time, almost 7, 8. Now, that's a natural way of people trying to understand we need to empower women. Okay? In Nakuru here, we had reserved 1 seat for women, right? The women rep, right? Because we were like, no, here, if women, we don't give them a seat. They will be vanquished by men. But today, here in Machakos, we actually need a conference of men to actually now begin approaching women to tell them, do this. We had thought this way. Now, leave us 1.
Yeah.
Exactly. Leave us 1 now, instead of taking all the 3. All the governor, women rep and senator, then why don't you leave for senator for a man? Because we have a women governor, we have a women rep, we cannot be taken by man. Why we negotiate with the women? Now, look at that. We are going to go the other way. So 2/3 is coming in this country, but in a slow way. We have the gender top-up, of course, in the National Assembly. We are going to have that. That's why, by the way, the 47 women coming to National Assembly were supposed to try to bridge the 2/3, right? In the county assemblies, we have gender top-up. So many women are being nominated to come and top up with the gender top-up. So yes, we are doing well for women. They are our wives, they are our sisters, they are our daughters and all that. We are our mothers. We need to encourage them. That is the way to go. So yes, 2/3, it's not a one-day affair. That's what I'm saying. It's a continuous process. And we are going to get there.
You have talked about the majority of the political parties. I'm trying to remind myself of the Political Parties Act, whereby you're not allowed to show or to pay allegiance to another political party. Kenya Kwanza, as you have likely said, they have been wooing members from other political parties, from Northeastern, Independent. Now, when it comes to Political Parties Act, Daktari, do you think the Kenya Kwanza is breaching the law?
Thank you. Paul, the law allows post-election coalitions, right? It allows pre-election coalitions and post. What we are doing is post. What Kenya Kwanza is doing is post. To say, you are not resigning from your party. No, you are not. But as a party, you have a working arrangement. The law is there, Election Act. So everything is very safe. You can do a coalition with a party to work together after elections.
Do they come immediately or after 1 year?
Immediately? No. It's immediate. After, post-election. No. It's immediate. The way they are doing now. Post-election. It is also out. We have a party called something with 7 members, 2 governors, 7 MPs. Come. The way you are, all of you. Come. We agree.
What happens to the pre-election pact?
No, like for example, Kenya Kwanza had a pre with 13 parties, right?
Yeah.
Azimio had a pre with 26 parties, right? You remember the coalition signing agreement and all that, They signed some agreements. The same case, Kenya Kwanza had about 13. That's why we had for the Kenya coming in, okay? ANC, PA, Maendeleo Chap, right? For example. Azimio had all these other parties in Kenya and others, That was pre. So the Election Act allows for both pre and post.
Yeah, but they also say that if you want to shift your allegiance to another party, you have to do it after 1 year.
That is allegiance to another party. This is coalition, right? That is after 1 year. That's if you want to. But for now, remember, there's a difference between switching your allegiance to another party and getting into a coalition with another party. That is allowed.
What's the difference?
The difference is this. You come as a party, right? I'll give you an example of this party, the one from Northeastern, right? That you come as a party for a working arrangement. Switching allegiance means you are a member, for example, of ANC, okay? Or let me say, Kenya. And you want to join UDA, you can't join immediately as a member of the party. This is a coalition thing. That's the difference, Paul. That's the beauty about this nation. So that's why quickly, Kenya Kwanza, so we need the numbers to be able to elect a speaker and to be able to move on the business of the house. And that's where we are now. And you see this happening a lot. Yeah.
Now, again, when we talk about the coalitions of the political parties, because now we are there, yeah? Do you feel that by the new political parties, because it is the first time it's going to be implemented in our parliament, do you think the Political Parties Act, which is now very new, is going to strengthen our democracy or party democracy, or it has a threat in a way? I think what hasn't, like now you see now, it's like, by the look of things, it's like we are collapsing, especially for presidential elections, to few parties during election. Do you think this is denying other people a chance to be able to participate, especially in the higher office?
No. I think it's very good. Look, of course, we learn from mature democracies. Not to say that we are copying them, but I mean, you have to learn from mature democracies that have been there for over 200 years. Ours is very young. In America, in London, the most developed democracies, we have one party or two parties. Yeah. Two parties. That's it. And everybody knows in every election, is it Republican or Democrat?
Are we heading there?
That's the beauty. I mean, let me ask you, Paul, what do you mean we have 20 people running for president for what? They themselves, though, they don't have the infrastructure, right? Yeah. They don't have the infrastructure. Yeah. They don't have the capacity. They are just running for show. We are not saying that somebody can't run and get 100,000 votes or even 50,000. That's fine. That's their right. But also, let's go on together, getting a bit mature in this thing. Yeah. I'm not saying that I support the decision by Chebukati to lock out the other about 10 or so who are saying that they have been locked out. I mean, some of them are already in the petition. Some of them are in the Supreme Court. I mean, surely we can't go that direction. Yeah, we don't need everybody studying for. Let's have main parties competing for power, based on ideologies and policies. That's what I think. And
I think I was trying to imagine if we were allowed all the parties to be on the presidential ballot. No.
If there's something I thank Chebukati for, he did some technical disqualification. That's what we have to say. Technical disqualification. Sorry, because one of them is in court. We don't want to say much, but because Kikambe is in court saying that he was denied to vie even after the court, because I mean we need to be specific and narrow down and be objective about what we are doing. Yeah.
All right. Again, we want to remind you that you are listening to the Mid-Morning Park on MBCI TV. My name is Paul Kage. We are with Dr. Peter Mbaye, who is a leadership and governance expert. He is saying that we need to really relook at these issues, the leadership and the governance and our politics, to be able to become mature. We can be able to play good politics in our country. And he is with us today. We are trying to talk about the election management of this country, and he is very happy that so far, so good. Talk to us, 23814, our SMS number, 0721 105 105, our Facebook, MBCI TV, and our YouTube, MBCI TV official. My question is, do you think Kenya has made good progress in election management? Do you think Kenya has made good progress in election management? Yeah, Daktari, now we are remaining with 10 minutes to be able to complete the program. And I want you to give us now your maybe your views. What do you see now? Because now the results, the Supreme Court will be giving its verdict on Monday. What do you expect as Kenyans from there? And how should we embrace the outcome of what is going to come out of Supreme Court? Even for the political class, because one, as you said, we will win as a president. So from the political class, from Kenyans, ordinary mwananchi, how should we now prepare for the outcome and carry ourselves?
That's important, because we have to begin thinking after 5th. We have to begin thinking, seated here, we have to begin thinking what happens after 5th. Very simple. We need to urge Kenyans, very important, that the decision will have to be made. We are all happy that a decision finally will be made, because this country has to move on.
Yes.
So please, I'm urging my fellow Kenyans, prepare for a decision that will be made.
Yeah.
It's either going to be affirmation of the rule of the win of the president-elect, Dr. William Ruto, or going back to the polls. Let's prepare ourselves for two eventualities.
Yeah.
And what is important is that we are urging for peace. Just like we did last time, no riots, no closing roads, no uprooting anything. The same maturity we have demonstrated to this world, let's keep it on Monday. After the decision, let us know that individually we have our personal lives to lead. And secondly, we were supporting a politician. Now, if the politician wins, we go on. We know that the winner is a president for the whole country. Yeah. If we will be told we are going back to Alilan, we must be able to know democracy is expensive. We must be able to understand. We wait for 60 days, we go for an election, and then we move on from there. So that is what is important. Let us be calm. Let us know. We were saying, learn to accept results. Results were announced. Some people didn't accept. They went to court as per the law. Yeah. We are saying again, please accept results. Once we accept results, all of us, this nation will go on. Politics is not a matter of life and death. You can do, if you think you are a leader, you can lead in many areas. Yes. So it's not just about political leadership. So we are urging kindly, and even those who have been in elections and all that, kindly, the best way to heal, like I said, reach out to the person who defeated you and say, I stand with you, congratulations, move on with life. Because the same way you are doing, even you one day, you'll be congratulated. Yeah. So it's good to be very mature in this thing. That is my view. Let's talk about peace. Let's talk about accepting the results of the Supreme Court. In the meantime, if you have anything major at the shaking that you think you can change the minds of the Supreme, kindly send it to the lawyers. They are the ones who are there to take that matter up. That's what I think you ought to say.
Now, one more thing, Daktari, that after all this, Kenya will have a president and government.
Yes.
Now, what is the biggest challenge awaiting for the new leader?
One, the issue of uniting the nation. Like I've just said, it will be a 50%. It will be half of the nation. Yeah. Half of the voters saying no to you. So you need to know that I'm learning a whole half nation. And the more immediate task is to reach out to the other half to say, look here, I'm the president for every person. Bring together, for example, elected leaders. Say, you are elected on a platform or a party which is not from my coalition, but I respect you. I respect the people who voted for you. Yeah. And because of that, I'm ready and willing to work with you to be able to move forward. So I think that the most important thing here is to say, the other issue that will be major is the issue of the economy. Kenyans expect an immediate drop of fuel prices. Oh. Immediate drop of food prices. Of course, fertilizer, they have already, immediate drop of things like fertilizer. Kenyans need NHIF card. Yeah. Kenyans need to be told how they are going to educate their children through bursaries and all that. Those are the immediate things that Kenyans will be waiting to come and hear from the leadership. That yes, we have taken on the leadership of this country, and that's how we are going to move on forward. Those are the key issues that the new president will be having. Of course, the shaping of the government. Kenyans will be looking for people with fresh ideas, CSs, PSs, CASs, all down, parastatals, heads, ambassadors. People want change. People want to know what next because of our own lives. So there'll be that urgency. And I'll tell you this, Kenyans are becoming very impatient. You not keep Kenyans hovering around for 2 years. No. They want quick things happen. True. That is the hope they have. The Kenyans have been very patient up to now. But I can tell you, if there's affirmation or the way forward, Kenyans want quick results because they've been waiting for too long.
Again, those who, our leaders, they made a lot of promises to Kenyans. And I think Kenyans will be very keen on seeing whether some of the major promises made to them, especially for the issue of employment among the Kenyan youth, will be able to be handled.
Those are the issues that we face, and by the way, not just the president now. We have governors. Yes. We have MPs. We have MCAs. We have senators. Everybody. Kenyans are becoming to be very much aware of what they intend, the expectations that they have. Yeah. And it's surprising. Kenyans are very unforgiving. You get it wrong. You are shown the door like immediately. Yeah. So that is good for because you have to be on your toes. tend to please the...
Away from what we have said as we part our parting shot, is regarding the CDF. Huh?
Yes.
There was a ruling by the Supreme Court regarding the CDF. It was nullified. What does that mean?
If you ask the MPs elect, because they have not been sworn in, they will say CDF is here to stay. They will say that the Supreme ruling was about 2013, the CDF of 2013. But they will tell you they have already amended the CDF Act of 2015. So they will tell you we are not touched. And they are vowing the CDF is not going anywhere. And you see, let me tell you what happens. You can see the issue of salaries.
Yeah.
I will tell you this today, seated here, unfortunately. Whatever SRC says, the first business when the MPs are sworn in was to call SRC, summon them, lecture them, and tell them, if you go this direction, we are going to disband you. And I can tell you all those allowances preliminary will be back. I can tell you that today. Yeah. Because also, SRC, instead of engaging the MPs and everybody, they are doing it when they know they are not in session. Yeah. That's to surprise them. For example, and I'll say this now from a government, because we do a lot of comparative studies. Plenary sittings, it's a Commonwealth thing. Kenya is a member of Commonwealth countries. True. It's a tradition we borrowed from London, where you are given plenary sittings and all that. I'm just saying this now from another level. So I doubt whether the SRC will take any sharing from MPs. They can only add. And they'll add under duress. I doubt if any minister for finance will spend any money in Kenya before they put CDF. They may, if it gets difficult, they will change the name. But the money they still get. Because they're the ones who share the money. The MPs are very powerful, just like MCs. They're the ones who pass the budget. So they can decide to put money first before they pass the budget.
So whether the Supreme Court ruling or
I can tell you that.
CDF
one, of course, they are saying the act that was annulled was 2013, not 2015. Whether 2013 affects 2015 is another story. But what I can tell you, the MPs, what they are elected to do is those things they do. If you tell them not to do, and they're the ones sharing the money, they will not accept. Those are the issues we expect. The first week after they are sworn in. Why they have not been sworn in, we don't know. Maybe the president was waiting for the by-election, or rather the repeat elections, I don't know. But of course, by 30th, everybody must be sworn in. By 30 days after election, the MPs must be sworn in. So whatever happens by 8th, so next week, they must be sworn in. Members of the county assemblies, the law says 14 days after the swearing in of the governor, they must be sworn in. So again, next week, by Thursday, they must be sworn in. The first business, of course, for both the National Assembly and the Senate and the county assemblies, once they are sworn in, the first business, the only business that day is to elect the speakers. Yeah. So those are the things we expect to see next week. There's going to be a lot of activities.
All right.
Yeah.
We want to thank you for coming here at MBCI TV Mid-Morning Park, even for your rich deliberations on this program. Thank you so very much. We wish you well when you're articulating the issue of leadership, governance, and politics. When we find time, we invite you again to come over to us.
Definitely, we'll always do. This is our home station. We love it. I like the way you have been able to educate people, inform them. We'll be part of this going forward.
All right. Thank you. And dear viewer, wherever you are, we want to thank you too for finding time to watch us here at MBCI TV Mid-Morning Park. All eyes are glued to the Supreme Court between now and Monday as we are waiting for their ruling on the petitions filed by various parties. Maintain peace wherever you are, and let us all guard our nation. My name is Paul Kagi. Till next week, God willing, bye for now.